Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make some quality LinkedIn posts, all from using AI and automation. So basically, where you could use make.com and ChatGPT and also Nano Banana too. So there's a few tricks for this, particularly in using buffer at the end, that are really quite useful and worth waiting for. So as an information source, now this is important, we're actually using a blog. So I've found this blog. My fictitious LinkedIn brand is all about men's health coaching and stuff like that. So of course I've looked at men's health, found a blog that looks pretty useful. It's about useful post here. And what we're going to do is use this as a source to create a bunch of LinkedIn posts. So let's have a look at how we've done this in Make. Now, first thing I'd say is men's health is not my copyright. And if I was going to do this in practice, I would use my own blog as a source. I just wanted to get that out there. So first things first, we look up the blog using make.com, which is actually a HTTP get the web page effectively. No authentication. You put in the URL of the men's health, in this case, the men's health blog actual page. Use a get method, and that's all you need to do. And basically what that does is brings back the HTML response from that page. The next thing we need to do is use the text parser. In fact, all these steps here that are within this loop are actually not essential. We could run the HTML response direct into one of our AI models, but just for basically making things a little bit simpler and better for the AI, which typically results in better output, I've actually removed the majority of the HTML response that's not related to the actual text of the text of the blog. So this pattern, or what are these called? These are called, I'm going to pause this and remember. Sorry, regular expression is the term I'm looking for. Actually, what it will do, the brackets around the section you want, and what this does is brings back everything that's within a P tag or a paragraph tag within HTML. So basically, with all these settings, we run this on the data that we get from the HTTP response. The next thing we do on that, this actually gets the output from the first one and makes anything that's HTML to text. And the last one, this just brings together all the responses we get from this text parser, because there's a lot of different P tag sections within the HTML, and this text aggregator brings them all back together and brings them into one response based on the text parser which is matching the pattern, and the text parser, which is converting HTML to text. Okay, so here we have a router. Basically what we're doing here is splitting it into three different responses. Sorry, three different lines, for want of a better word. So each of these has a different prompt in it, as you can imagine. So look here, there's a different prompt there, and there's a different prompt there. Now the purpose of having three different response generations from AI is to get three different styles of posts, because if we just post the same thing all the time, it's just not going to be very successful on LinkedIn if you post the same thing over and over again and in the same style. So let's have a bit of a look at the first one. Let's have a look. Okay, so this prompt's very simple. I really could have made this a lot more involved. I'll actually put these templates up on the internet for people to download, so you don't need to actually try and type these out or try and copy them off the screen, although you can if you want to. Basically, I made them very simple. You could get really, really refined and really, really cultured with your prompts here, and they would create better and better responses. But in this case, I've just kept it simpler just for the sake of demonstration. Okay, so you're an expert in creating LinkedIn posts for brand Coach S. Now this is my fictitious LinkedIn page and brand that's about men's health and performance, using the below body of the blog post, which is this that we get from the text aggregator that we've previously got through this chain here. create a LinkedIn post based on the AIDA framework. Now you ask, what's the AIDA framework? Basically, it's a marketing framework for creating posts or creating sales pages more particularly. It stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. The idea is that you get people's attention and you get them to prompt them to take an action such as follow your page, follow your link, buy your widget, whatever it may be. Here's the here's the blog body text, and this is, as I said before. Now I've just put that here because I was finding it was putting in metadata in the output so what I've written is with a little hash to say that it's important. No metadata is required in the output as it will be posted straight to LinkedIn. Also, format the post for LinkedIn. It does not need Markdown or HTML. That just helps the AI model realize that it doesn't need to add anything extra into the response apart from the actual post itself. Let's see what this one here does. I think what this here does is actually, this is secondary prompt. Now this is for the image because with a LinkedIn post without an image or a video is a bit, well, it's not going to get a lot of engagement. So we definitely need an image in this case. So what we're doing, we're prompting it to create a prompt. Now this is useful, especially for images, because a prompt to create an image, the more detail you give it, within reason, creates better images and better outputs. So what we're doing here is, you are an expert at creating prompts for LLMs, such as yourself, for image generation from a LinkedIn post. The destination LinkedIn page is for men's health and performance. Create a prompt for a photorealistic image. Here is the LinkedIn post, and that's the post we've created in the previous section. Okay, so I'll cancel that. Now this section, let me hold down Shift. This section here is all to do with creating an image with Nano Banana. Now I do have another video which I will link at the end of this video that goes into this in more detail. But basically, Nano Banana, as I'm sure you know, is an image generation model through Google. It's a little bit complicated to get it to work with Make, but it definitely can be done. As you see here, this text 18 result is the result of the previous prompt, and that is the description that we need to create our image. And also see down here, response modalities is simply image config. Now we want an aspect ratio of 1:1 for LinkedIn, being a square image for the post feed, and the image size, I've just made it 1K just to make it not go overboard with our image generation. Can go up to 4K, but 1K I find just fine. Then we pass that response to get the data. We save it as binary. In fact, let me just show you these steps just so you can see what it's all about. Save the response as binary. There it is there. Now that's a little complicated, and I go through it in my other video, which I will link at the end of this video. And you're welcome to use that or download my snippet, which is actually available if you visit my second link in the description, which has the snack prompt, and it has quite a few different automations that I've done that I've made available for free. Once we've saved it as binary, we then upload it into Google Drive because it needs to sit somewhere in order for us to be able to access it. I'll just call it Nano Image PNG. This new image binary is the response from this save response as binary. And I'm just saving it into my Google Drive. Here I've put it in medium images for lack of imagination. Now this step's quite important. We need to share that image. If we don't share it, then we can't download it again. Grab it again or get it shared back into Make in order to put it into Buffer. Basically, what we're doing here is, here's the file ID, which we got in the previous step. Now this is important, and it actually says it below here. If you need to generate a download link for any kind of service, set type to anyone. Here it is here, type to anyone, and roll to reader, and here it is, roll to reader. So that works. Now Buffer. Buffer is a social media scheduling program, and it does have a free tier which uses up to three different connections. In fact, I'll show you Buffer in a moment. I actually haven't unloaded the page. I should have, but let me just show you the end result of buffer before we go any further. Won't be a moment. Okay, so here we are inside buffer. Basically, this is as I said before, it's a scheduling program for social media posts. Here's an example of one I've created earlier for Coach S. Men's Health blog as a source. Let's have a look and see what it actually looks like. Okay, has a series of texts. I actually have read through this earlier. The other benefit of buffer is you can edit things before they get posted, because I mean, AIDA is pretty good in what it actually posts, but it does occasionally put in things that make it obvious that it's AI, and also occasionally it'll just need a little bit of help, and you can overcome that with maybe improving your prompting. But I prefer the human eye on it, just to see it just before I post it. So previously I've been through this post and edited it. It looks pretty solid to me. I mean, it's about longevity is having a moment, health span, and different ways to improve it and all that sort of thing. I won't go into detail. Here's the image that Nano Banana has produced. It's actually pretty good. Just wait for it to load. Okay, so here's a guy with, there's a little bit of a graphic down the bottom with different health span attributes. That's pretty solid if you ask me. When it gets posted to LinkedIn, it looks like this. Here's one here. Here's one I've done earlier, as they say in the classics. Okay, you're welcome to pause and have a bit of a read through, but it's a pretty solid post that I didn't really have to edit too much, and I really like the image and the graphic it has here for the speed of walking, which they reckon is the best. Okay, we'll go back to make and just show you how the buffer module works. Okay, so here you do need to set up a connection, which again you can do for free. Really handy for that, for up to three free channels. Now, results is in fact the prompt we got from the step we did with AI. We want to add it to the top of the queue. You have a choice here of how you can post immediately if you like, but I prefer to add it to the queue in order for us to be able to look at it and edit it within buffer. Let's move my head out of the way. Okay, media. Now this is a little bit of a challenge. You have to click the advanced settings, which is found at the bottom of the make module. Link you ignore. Title you could, LinkedIn, you're welcome to put a title. I don't have any real problem with that. Description. In fact, that's to do with the media, so I don't think you even really need them, to be honest. Now, this is a little bit of a challenge. It took a bit of guess and check from me. The web content link relates to step 617, which is the Google share link. So you get that link there. This one here, web content link. And the thumbnail, you need a thumbnail in order for it to post correctly. It's actually from the previous step, which is the actual upload a file step. And it's where's thumbnail? Thumbnail is thumbnail link. Okay, it's this one here, thumbnail link. And that's really handy to know, because otherwise you won't be able to post effectively to LinkedIn from buffer, or post into buffer using an image. So that's the way it all works. Now, just stepping back a bit, I'll just make the screen a bit bigger so I can talk to you a bit more clearly. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to address was just the elephant in the room, and that is, why did I use Make rather than Claude for this particular piece of work? You could use Claude, and I may actually do a future video about basically the same use case with Claude. I like the deterministic nature of Make.com, and I feel it leads to more consistent and better results, even if it takes a little bit longer to set up. I just find it a bit better in that respect. The next thing I wanted to touch on was just some use cases for this. I mean, LinkedIn's not the only kind of social platform out there. It relates really well for a blog post, and then to create some good LinkedIn posts, it works well for that. You could use it for any of the social channels that's text and image related, like Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, although Pinterest doesn't go that well with AI images. There's a lot of kind of flexibility and things you can do with this particular piece of work. And I mean, that's probably it for this particular video. As always, I'd love you to reach out to me if you're actually looking to build something, or you need a hand building something. Like, follow, subscribe, all the usual. Anyway, thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.